Hey guys, Stanley7 here. Gonna be doing another little Apex video. Solid gameplay here from Friday's stream, I believe. And yeah, this is a really good game here. Close to being a 20 bomb, but not quite. You'll see how it ends up. Also, landing Sorting Factory. Of course, I got to talk about this quick. Sorting Factory is like, I think I've had a bit of a debate over the go-to landing spot because every BR that I play, and I think most people have this, like you mix it up a little bit, but for the most part everybody tends to find like one landing spot that is like their go-to. You know, if the landing route is a little bit different, maybe you'll switch it up here and there, or if you've been doing it all night and you want to just like mix things up, you'll switch it up. But for the most part, I think most teams or most people have like one spot that they kind of prefer, that they always go to, and I think Sorting Factory might be the one for this map. And it's been like it's been like almost 2 weeks now, and it's just taken forever. Just haven't been able to decide like what is the spot that I like landing at on this map. And I finally, I think I've come to decide. I think it is Sorting Factory. I just really like this location. There's a pretty decent amount of loot around it, like all around. There's quite a few boxes. There's quite a few locations where you can find weapons, ammo, armor, stuff like that. They also got the a lot of those little I don't know what you call them, like those disco ball loot drones. A lot of those in this area as well, which gives you a really good chance at a vault key. And the rotations for the vault keys are really nice because you can go train or geyser, and both of them aren't that far away. And generally you have to rotate in one of those directions for the zone, like 99% of the time. So that works out really well. And yeah, just a lot of benefits to it. And also just like the way the buildings are designed, I just really like fighting here. Especially when I'm like Pathfinder, Wraith, or Octane, any character with mobility, you can really like zip out of these doors, use the height advantage, and take your character's abilities, outplay people with them a little bit, and that makes it really fun. So really enjoying this spot. The only other location I would say that competes with it is maybe really close by, actually, maybe Geyser. I think Geyser's like the ranked spot. Like if I was playing ranked and I wanted to go for a win, try to have a clean game, go for a win, I think Geyser is probably where I'd land. I think that's like the competitive location. I think Sorting is just a little more fun though, so that's why I prefer it. But in this video I want to cover a few different topics. Like the first thing I want to talk about is the new Apex update that's coming out, I believe tomorrow. What is the event called again? Let me double check. I think it's the Fighter Fright. Yeah, I nailed it. That's what it's called. And you know, little Halloween event for Apex. A lot of new skins, new game mode, Kings Canyon at night. A lot of cool stuff in here. That trailer just came out today, so you could just easily look it up. Apex Fighter Fright trailer. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely excited to try it. Some of the skins look pretty sweet. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to earn any of them. I didn't play any of the other in-game events for Apex. I don't know how it's all gonna work, but I'm excited for this one because I've been really enjoying Season 3 for some reason. Like between Season 1 and Season 2, I kind of hit this point where I was just kind of fed up with Apex, and it got kind of like stale for me, and I only played it every once in a while, and I could only play it for so long. You know, it didn't have that like high that it did when it first came out. You know, when it first came out, everybody was pretty excited about Apex in the BR community for the most part. The amount of viewership and the amount of players on this game, it was just absolutely insane when it first came out. And it was some of the hardest that I've grinded a game in a while for me personally. But Season 3 has I've probably grinded the beginning of Season 3 harder than when Apex first came out, which is kind of crazy because I played it a lot when it first came out. Like the grind when Apex first came out was pretty intense. It had this like perfect storm where it just came out at just the right time, and I was just grinding it a ton. And with Season 3, they've seemed to hit a very similar time where this new map and all this new content has come out at just like this perfect time for me to really like sink my time into it. And yeah, it's been pretty fun. I've really been enjoying Season 3 so far, and it's not perfect by any means, like the charge rifle, stuff like that. It definitely has its issues, but I don't know, I've really been enjoying Season 3. So despite those issues, I think it's overall like a really good just new breath of fresh air for the game, really, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, so looking forward to that update, and I'm also looking forward to Modern Warfare, of course, coming out later this month. That is part of the reason why I've been grinding so much Apex. I just needed something to really sink my time into. until Modern Warfare comes out, because I'm probably going to be playing that game a lot. And the nice thing about sinking all my time into Apex is that, if Modern Warfare doesn't pan out, which I mean, I really hope it does. I genuinely, I really want Modern Warfare to succeed. Not saying that I have full confidence in it succeeding, but I really want it to succeed. I really want it to be a good Call of Duty game, and put them back on the map per se, because COD has had, even though their sales have been fine, right? Like it's not like they're in danger of going out of business or anything. Like COD games still sell really well. You look at the numbers and it's like, oh, these recent COD games have sold the least out of any of these last like 10 years of COD games. Only sold 14 million copies instead of 29 million. It's like, well, they're doing fine. Especially with microtransactions and stuff like that. Like with those numbers, you're not taking into account the microtransactions. They're doing fine. So yeah, I'm not too worried about like the franchise or anything like that. I'm just I'm one that enjoys Call of Duty. I enjoy a good Call of Duty game. I enjoy really having fun on it, and not being like super frustrated with design decisions of the game and stuff like that. I just want it to be a really good game, is what I'm getting at. I just want it to be a good game. And we've had some there have been some things kind of holding COD back recently. Microtransactions being a big one, especially with Black Ops 4. Just the microtransaction whole system in Black Ops 4, when it first came out, was honestly fine. I didn't really have too much of an issue with it. Yeah, the skins, the prices were kind of ridiculous, but again, it was it was just skins that you could buy, so it didn't really bother me that much. You didn't have to get them. And all the weapons were you could earn them just by playing in COD's, like in Black Ops 4's like Battle Pass, and yeah, it just didn't really bother me that much. But it did get to a certain point though where it did start to bother me when they eventually came out with the loot boxes, and when you couldn't get the weapons guaranteed in the Battle Pass anymore. And yeah, around like March, I believe, Black Ops 4 started to take a major like downhill turn, where when the game first came out, first like 4 or 5 months or so, it was pretty solid in terms of the microtransactions, and it just wasn't that bad, wasn't that much of an issue. And then once they reached that point around, I believe, March, that's when all the loot crates came out and everything, and it just kind of killed it, honestly. It just kind of killed the game, which is unfortunate, because I really like Black Ops 4. Don't get me wrong. Black Ops 4 definitely had its issues for sure, but at the end of the day, I really enjoyed the game, and it's unfortunate that the microtransactions at a certain point really killed it, because I was still enjoying it, and it was still getting better with every update, and then that microtransaction update hit, and that really hurt the game a lot, hurt the player base seemingly a lot. I know a lot of people just seemed disinterested in it after that, or were already losing interest, and then that kind of like put the nail in the coffin right there. It's just unfortunate, and I'm just scared that the same thing is going to happen with Modern Warfare. I believe, I forget what it was, if it was like I think it was like a Charlie Intel post or something like that, something recently about I think it was one of the, was it like an art director on the game, I believe, said that they weren't working on any loot boxes or something like that, which again, I just take stuff like that at this point with COD with a grain of salt. I just don't believe that at all. Or there's also, you can also look into how vaguely it's worded. Like, even if they're not working on it right now, that doesn't mean they're not going to be working on it in the future. For example, like the previous few COD games have been like that. The previous few COD games have not had loot boxes off the start, and then just give it a couple months, and around that February, March time, it's back. So it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is at this point. And I just hope that it's not that bad, because in my mind, I've already accepted that it's definitely going to have loot boxes at a certain point. Like, I've just accepted that supply drops it's gonna be in the game. It's just a matter of when it's going to be added into the game and how bad. I'm just like at that point right now. That's how I expect it to be. And honestly, I just hope that they don't do the Black Ops 4 mistake, which I think they probably will. I hope they don't do the Black Ops 4 mistake, which was putting weapons behind supply drops that it gets to a point where it's basically pay to win, because you could only earn so many supply drops in Black Ops 4 by playing the game regularly, and the chances of you earning those weapons were just so low that at a certain point it basically became pay to win, especially with how strong. Not all of the weapons that Black Ops 4 put in behind a paywall were OP, but man, some of them were super OP. Like some of them were broken OP. And that always just gets really frustrating, and nobody enjoys that, right? Nobody enjoys being beat by somebody that just got lucky. They got a super god gun, excuse me, out of a supply drop, and that's why they're dominating. Like for example, the Javelina was not nerfed for about a month or something like that on console. I believe it was about a month on Black Ops 4. It's kind of recent too. It's only like a month or two ago. Yeah, I think 1 month ago actually. And the Javelina sniper was a sniper that essentially had the same damage model as the Paladin and like same stats, except it had a faster rate of fire and it had aim assist on console, and it was super OP on PC as well. Don't get me wrong, it was already a better Paladin on PC, but on console they added in the aim assist on top of it, which none of the other snipers in the game have aim assist. So that was just super, like, what's going on there? Like, that's absolutely ridiculous, you know? Like, that's literally pay to win right there. You have not just the gun being better, but also the aim assist mechanic on top of that. Like, what the hell is that? Like, that's actually ridiculous. And I really hope that that same mistake, that same type of thing doesn't happen with Modern Warfare, because even if the game at launch is good, and even if the game at launch is like the COD game that a lot of people wanted, I think that the supply drops and the microtransactions can really kill that hype really quickly. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm still looking forward to the game. Gonna be doing a fat stream when it comes out, I'm sure. Maybe like a midnight type stream. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'll definitely be streaming it when it comes out. Will it be like Black Ops 4 levels of grinding? I don't know. We'll find out. But definitely be playing it a lot. And hope some of you guys will join me with that on the stream, or maybe even playing. I'm sure there'll be more people on it. Like Black Ops 4 when it first came out, definitely had some pretty hefty parties there. Kind of died out. Me and Clan were like the only ones that, for the most part, would play it after a certain point. But you know, we'll see how it goes with this game. I'm hoping that the extra stuff that they have in it, I'm hoping that you know, all the different modes, gunfight, ground war, and the different content, leveling up the weapons, stuff like that. I'm hoping that type of stuff can give the game some extra longevity. We'll see. Closing out this video, I pretty much got all my thoughts out there on Modern Warfare that I wanted to at this point. And yeah, still looking forward to that Apex event. The last thing I wanted to say is I'm also going to, hopefully before Modern Warfare comes out, I really want to try some more Battlefield 5 as well, because at this point, I really like the last update that they did for Battlefield. Like, I genuinely really enjoy that update. That the new Operation Underground map is just like Operation Metro from Battlefield 3, except just better. I genuinely think it's just a better version of it. It's one of the best like reimagined maps that I've played in a game, and I genuinely mean that. Like, it's usually when a game dev makes like a reimagining type map, they usually kind of like lose what made the original map fun, or like the new game that it's on will have different mechanics that kind of kill it. But no, it actually, the new additions to the map play really well, and Battlefield 5's gameplay also works really well with it. So I'm really enjoying it, and you know, I'm probably not going to get back on Battlefield 5 for a while until the Pacific drops, which who knows when that's going to be. It's going to be sometime November, December, but just no exact like ETA on it, so I don't know when that's going to be. So I really want to get a little bit of grind time on BF5 before Modern Warfare comes out, especially with how hard the Apex grind has been hitting, because I really enjoy this BF5 update, and I just want to get some time on it, because I know that the grind isn't going to be there until the next big update comes out, which is just sort of uncertain at this point. So expect some of that on stream. I'm genuinely excited to try it. I even tried, they've had like these free PC trials. I even tried one of those. That was pretty fun too. Don't think I'll be streaming any of that. Like, I've even messed around with some Apex on PC as well. But again, I don't expect me to stream any of that, because it works decent on my PC, but if I streamed it probably would not work that decent. I think the stream would probably kill it. So probably not going to be streaming any of that. I don't know. Maybe I'll like record it or something. Maybe it could handle that. We'll see. But yeah, we're getting to the end of the gameplay here. That guy just freaking melted me with the flatline. That was insane. But as you can see, this is a pretty good game here. But once we got this double gold armor, it was just kind of chalked. That's kind of how it goes. If you get two people, even though it's just me and Matt, if you get two people with gold armor in these lobbies, it's basically chalked at that point. The gold armor is very, very plentiful on this map. There's a lot of gold armor to go around, and it is super strong. The gold shield is now like the strongest It went from literally the most useless gold item into the game to the best gold item in the game, and they put a lot more of them on this map. And I'm not really too sure how I feel about that. There probably should be less gold armor to go around because it's so strong. But you know, it's really fun when you're the squad that gets it. It's really fun. It makes the game so much easier. It really does. Having that like 50% reduction on the times there for healing, it just makes it so much easier. It's actually crazy how much of a difference it makes. But we're going to be closing out the game here shortly. At this point, we're just looking for the last team. This is what happens a lot when you play like these duo lobbies and stuff, and there's more newer players in it. A lot of the times, you know, like in the sweaty lobbies, teams will, once it's like last two teams, they'll come hunting. But in these lobbies, you get a lot of the teams that are like set up camping and they're hiding. They're waiting for the circle to come to them. Like they really want their first win here, I imagine. We end up finding the Watson fences here, so that kind of tells us like, oh, they're probably over here somewhere. And yup, spotted them out. The flatline melt on that first guy, absolutely ridiculous. Flatline melt on the second guy, insane. And then we're just challenging the last guy. Of course, Matt gets the last shot and steal my 20. But we still get the 19. It was a solid game right there. And Matt running Bloodhound as well, so that was a weird one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little gameplay and discussion of Apex and Modern Warfare. And Modern Warfare's still, you know, a couple, like 11 days away or so. So I'm gonna be grinding that Apex event here in a day. So definitely look forward to that. And see you next time.